Give me just 10 minutes to get you from skinny fat to sculpted by spring, and this is coming from a former skinny fat girl. If you've ever been told, oh, you're so small, you're so skinny, but when you look in the mirror, you see a body that you may not be so comfortable and confident with because it isn't toned, it's a little bit soft, then this video is quite literally for you. I used to be what people call skinny fat. I wasn't overweight. I was working out all of the time, probably overtraining, and I definitely wasn't out of shape. I was in pretty decent shape, but I lacked muscle definition, especially in my lower body. I've talked about this before. That's kind of always been my problem area. But even in my upper body, in my arms, in my waist, it wasn't as lean and snatched as it is now. Yes, I felt small, but I was not strong at all. I was actually very, very weak. And the most frustrating part was that I literally thought I was doing everything right. I couldn't possibly be doing anything more to look a different way. This is just what, God gave me. That was the excuse I would give myself all of the time. For years, I truly thought that the only way to get smaller and more toned and more defined was to cut more calories, work out more sweat, more cardio, less food, and then I would finally get my dream body. But when I did do that, when I did put more energy towards all of those things, I still was not yielding results. I was just burnt out, I was tired, and I was frustrated, and I get it, it's the worst feeling ever. Years later, I finally realized that I did not have enough muscle on my body to create shape. And once I understood that, everything began to change. So if you feel stuck in that in-between phase right now, which is so common, give me 10 minutes and I will tell you exactly how I was able to change my entire body composition and how you can look completely different by spring. Let's get into it. The biggest mistake that skinny fat girls are making is trying to diet all year long. If you are already relatively small and you're constantly cutting your food volume and calorie intake, all you're doing is shrinking muscle along with fat. Of course, if you're in a caloric deficit, yes, you may be losing weight, but we need to shift from trying to lose weight to trying to build muscle. That is when everything changed for me. So I stopped obsessing over the scale and I started focusing on every single day, every single week, eating protein so that I could build muscle, strength training consistently, not being constantly fatigued, so cutting down on my cardio and my high intensity work so that I could give more energy to my strength training sessions and also my low impact Pilates sessions. And by doing that, I was able to start actually building real muscle, and that is when I felt so much stronger in my body. Muscle is what gives you toned shoulders, lifted glutes, defined thighs. Look at my before and after from my lower body before versus now. It's just a difference in having more muscle definition. And unfortunately, for people who may not like working out as much, and I hope I can get you to love it maybe a little bit more, you cannot achieve that look through diet. You need to earn it through resistance training. You need to put in that work. Once I stopped obsessing over the scale and how much I weighed every single day and really started focusing on building muscle tissue, my body started looking a hell of a lot more sculpted versus just being thin or small. For a very long time, I was consistent. Working out has always been a big part of my life, but I wasn't progressive with my training. So prior to creating Shape in 2020, I was more so focused on conditioning, running, getting my heart rate up, doing sprint training, going for 8-kilometer runs. Yes, I was still doing strength training, but I was kind of just fitting it in between clients when I could. I was also going to workout classes to stay motivated for myself after, again, spending 5 to 7 hours every single day training other people. And I didn't have a properly structured program. But now, thanks to Shape, I follow a weekly schedule. I know that every single week I'm getting my 3 strength training sessions. I'm getting 2 low impact Pilates, mobility, core focus series. I'm having my rest days. I'm focusing on my steps. And this is the formula that has given me results. And also, by the way, like literally thousands of women all around the world. Within my strength training sessions, I'm focusing on progressive overload. So I'm always cueing this for all of my shape members as well. We want to progress our weight over time. So I am not using the same weight that I was 4 years ago. When I am doing a shoulder press, when I am doing a deadlift, I have gradually increased it over time. When we are doing a set, we should be close to burnout or failure by the time we are at the last 1 to 2 reps in our set. If you're not, then that is a signal to you to increase your weight. We need that progression. Like I mentioned, Pilates and mobility has stayed in my routine, but it is an extension of my foundation, which is strength. As women, we all need strength training to help with tightening and toning and posture, opening up, releasing tension, all the things. So if you want to look hot and sculpted and get out of that skinny fat phase by spring, your training needs stimulus, and you get that through resistance training. The other thing that shifted everything was pulling back on high intensity cardio. When I was skinny fat, my instinct was to add more HIIT into my routine, thinking that it would lean me out. But in reality, it was making me puffy, inflamed, and it was stressing out my nervous system because my body was already in a state of fight or flight, and I was just stressed from life. And adding high intensity work on top of an already stressed out nervous system is not going to get you anywhere. But when I started focusing on daily steps, really it was only from when I moved to Miami, so 2022, 23, that's when everything started to change for me. I went from walking around 2,000 to 3,000 steps every single day to 8,000 to 10,000 steps. And my body actually leaned out in a way that felt tight and toned versus depleted. And on top of that, I actually started enjoying my cardio. Like, I was only running because I thought it would make me skinny, not because it was an activity that I actually enjoyed. And walking, I love it. It's like the best thing ever. You get to be in nature, move your body, listen to a podcast, call a friend, or just literally be one in nature. So it's actually calming your nervous system. It's increasing your NEAT, so your non-exercise daily movement, your movement outside of your workouts. And on top of that, it very much so supports fat loss because our body relies on fat as fuel when we are walking, when we are in that lower cardio zone. So walking for the win. If you're not getting in your daily steps, make that your one thing that you start focusing on and working on today to get out of this skinny fat cycle. Lastly, you are going to start eating like you want to build muscle. Because for years, I used to eat as someone who was very afraid of gaining weight. I was going for low calorie, low carb. Protein didn't even exist in my mind. I never thought about it. Wasn't thinking about fiber either. It was just, how can I get the least amount of calories as possible and still have enough energy to function through my day? This thinking is so backwards, and I know that so many women are still struggling with it. But let me tell you, when I started focusing on 100 to 130 grams of protein every single day, my protein count changes day to day. Sometimes I hit it, sometimes it's a little bit under, sometimes it's a little bit over. But my minimum every single day for me is 100 grams of protein. And when I started hitting that, that is when I really started to notice that muscle definition come in. Protein helps preserve muscle when you are in a calorie deficit, and it builds muscle when you are in maintenance or in a slight surplus. On the flip side, if you're chronically under eating, if you're going into too much of a caloric deficit, your body has no reason and also no resource, protein, to grow. Skinny fat is not a cardio problem. Oftentimes, it is a muscle problem, and you need protein in order to build muscle. It is that simple. So if you are feeling skinny fat this winter, stop trying to diet your way out of it. You don't need another cut. You don't need more cardio. You don't need to sweat more. You need to build muscle. You need protein. You need resistance training. You need to get your steps in. You need to calm your nervous system, and you need to give it more than 2 weeks. You you truly need to start being consistent with the formula, with all of these habits that I have mentioned today. And I promise, even by spring, definitely by summer, you will see a difference in your body, and I am here personally to guide you through this journey. So if you're not already a member on Shape, which is my wellness app, I'm going to leave a promo code below in the description to get your very first month for free, plus your free trial. We always have challenges running, and our upcoming challenge is actually a 8-week summer body challenge where we are going to be focusing on everything that I mentioned today, instilling all of these healthy habits so we can truly lay the foundation of feeling and looking our best, being strong, being confident, and most importantly, being hot and not skinny fat. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. I think it was a little bit more than 10 minutes, but that is okay. I gave you everything you needed to hear today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you as always for being here, and I will see you next time. Make sure to check out my latest video here.